This happened before the game. Say this for Juju. He said he was going to keep doing it, and he did. As I said, down 3-0, they go to Juju, and bam! Woo! They say, dance on this. That's Von Bell, clean as a whistle. And he talked about it
Juju's
afterwards.
doing a lot of dancing on other people's logos. What's your take on that pregame ritual?
It's kind of disrespectful. Because you got to go out there between the lines, go out there and hit him, and let him know where he stands.
The entire Bengals team said it fired them up. Von Bell said it was disrespectful. We'll get into it. This TikTok thing has officially come off the rails. And maybe so have the Steelers. Second quarter, down 10-0 to the Ryan Finley Bengals. Roethlisberger picked off. Mackenzie Alexander, is he going to house this thing? He starts high-stepping his own 45 and tack on a penalty. A terrible penalty after a terrible interception. You got worried there was going to be a brawl there for a second. Instead, the Steelers really didn't have a ton of fight. Ben Roethlisberger, I think that was the worst first half of his career, objectively. They're down 17-0 on Monday Night Football. They're going to get back into it. Touchdown, Deontay Johnson was actually really clutch in this one. His hands have come a long way. Roethlisberger pointing to the sky, looking for some sort of answers. Here's your answer right here. Fourth quarter, 2nd and 2. And Lamar Jackson no, that's Ryan Finley, who is going to house this thing on a team that was 11-0 was that a finger roll? The Finley roll? This is an incredible night. Huge credit to the Cincinnati Bengals. And look at Juju and Ben saying, dude, what the hell's going on out here? That record used to say 11-0. It says 11-3. I cannot wait to play this Mike Tomlin sound. Mike, does this team have confidence left?
We're not a good football group right now. And so we understand the consequences that come with that. We're working on a short week. We got to be better than what we've been. And that's just the reality of it. We better not be confident after a performance like that. I'm not concerned about our confidence. We got work to do.
Ooh, Coach, not an ideal time to not be a good football group. Not right now in the playoff picture. Taking form and solidifying that loss drops the Steelers to the number 3 seed in the AFC. It's very exciting music to talk about their demise slowly here to end their end.
Yeah.
The Bills. There's the jazzy music there. Woo! They leapfrog them up to the 2 seed. Our audio guy, a Bills fan, clearly. Guys, if the playoffs started right now, Pittsburgh would face the Colts in round 1. The Bills take on the Dolphins. And the Titans-Browns would round out wild card weekend. Nate, the Bengals handled the Steelers, handed them their third. I know this was like amazing music to start the morning.
The Steelers have lost 3 in a row.
Well, Kyle's excited, but Kyle picked them to go to the Super Bowl. Nate, we start with you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you said handled, backhanded. The Steelers credit to the Bengals. You know, I could sit here and have a pity party for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I love to credit the victors. And I'm going to credit a group of guys that went out there and showed out. Those DBs, I know we showed the clip in the middle of that highlight package where, you know, they spoke on what they saw from Juju pregame, but it was all about them being aggressive with the wide receivers. They were physical at the line of scrimmage, even more physical at the point of attack. Those 50-50 balls that as a wide receiver, I say, all right, if it's one-on-one coverage, I want you to come to me. If you're my quarterback, you trust me, come to me. The DBs were more aggressive than the Steelers wide receivers. You know, they had 1 sack, but 9 hits on Big Ben. So the D-line was ferocious. They were making Big Ben uncomfortable. But even bigger number, 10 pass breakups. So, yeah, they had 1 interception, but they almost had about 3 or 4 picks in this game. So if I want to credit one group, I'm going to credit those DBs who showed up and made it very difficult for those wide receivers in Big Ben last night.
Yeah, it's hard for us to come out this morning and be like, yeah, but the Steelers are injured and James Conner wasn't on the field and Bud Dupree's not there. The Bengals are without Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon. They're without Trey Waynes, DJ Reader. You can go right down the line. And they came out there and they fought. And they had nothing to play for other than pride. The Steelers had everything to play for. Truth of the matter is this. The Steelers did not get out of bed. We're not ready for this game. They got blown out in the first half, and you just can't come back from that. Teams that have had 3 turnovers in the first half in NFL history are 11-58-1 all time. 11-58-1. And this is what the Steelers were. I don't know how you could watch Sunday football, and I'm sure a lot of the Steelers did, if they weren't using their social media platforms for other reasons. I don't know how you watched football on Sunday, saw the Rams lose to the Jets, and not find yourselves awake and alive for this game. Kudos to the Bengals, but my gosh, how could the Steelers not get up for this, and how could the Steelers completely be asleep for the first half? To me, it is panic button time for Pittsburgh. 3 straight losses and getting worse and worse each week.
They ain't watching football, Peter. They ain't watching, because if they were, they would see how good the Browns and Ravens are right now, and they would see that they're about to blow this thing. Here's the deal. You can lose. There is a standard in Pittsburgh. There are losses, fine. You don't get embarrassed when you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. They don't run that company that way. Last night was embarrassing for a lot of reasons. The loss, the dancing thing that has now taken a very serious sort of meaningful turn. It's not cute anymore.
Yeah.
And also just the bad play. Listen, we said it last week. Do what you want. Mike Tomlin, why don't you shut this crap down? Because it's gone from letting players be their individual self, which I totally respect, to the other team is explicitly saying that it motivated us and pissed us off and had our whole sideline jumping up and down, and you're losing these games. So, Mike, enough of this crap, enough of your brand and your TikTok, because then there's this. This is day 1 of training camp, missed exchange snap with Ben Roethlisberger and Pouncey, who they've played about 500 games together. It's just bad. This looks like a terrible team in preseason, and this was the team that was going to go 16-0. I'll say this. Peter was talking a few weeks ago about the NFC East, how NFC playoff teams might behoove them to align themselves to play the NFC East winner in the playoffs. Is there anyone in the AFC who does not want to see the Steelers in the wild card round? I mean, anybody. Yeah. Anybody who gets in is give me Pittsburgh now. I want them, because we will wax the floor with them. I don't want Tennessee, Cleveland, Baltimore, KC. I don't want it. Give me the Steelers. That's the way it looked like tonight. It's practically a bye. It was an embarrassing night.
You're not wrong. No rhythm, no balance. The defense hasn't played up to their talent or their reputation level. I think they missed Dupree. I think they missed Devin Bush. It's showing some glaring holes on defense. What can this team hang their hat on? This is the 8th time in the last 9 games that the Steelers have failed to rush for 100 yards as a team. They got to figure this out if they want to make waves in the playoffs. I'll also say if the Steelers guys lose to the Colts, who look really good in the AFC right now, and the Browns beat the Jets, which they probably will, the Steelers and Browns, Week 17, that is for the AFC North title. We've got other news to get to. We'll get back to TikTok, more highlights, of course, but we have to get to some unfortunate news as the NFL world and our NFL family continues to mourn the passing of Hall of Famer Kevin Greene. He passed away yesterday at the age of 58, playing 15 seasons in the league, a 5-time Pro Bowler. He finished his career 3rd all-time in sacks behind only Bruce